Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Ooh, welcome to the CommanderSmiths. I held that for a while there.
You did. Well, we are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 323. And what do we have in store where we just came up with it today? And what are we doing? Episode.
We are going to be doing equipment themed, underrated and or underplayed cards. I forgot what I just read. What did you have on the teaser, the thumbnail? Was that underrated?
Yeah,
underrated.
Well, underrated is what I had.
Okay, yeah,
The
same
thing
thing.
about
Same thing.
Right. So are all yours under 20,000 EDH rec?
I did. Well, once you said all yours were, I knew I had to beat that, and so all of mine are under 14,000 or under 15,000.
Oh, good. Wait, hang on. I got to give this to Reggie first.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
And then
good
evening there, Ted. And then this is for you.
Oh, good for you.
Hold on. I got a better one. I have one that's under 500.
Oh shit. Oh,
right.
You know what? I'm giving you the good for
you.
you, but then I look down at my list. All of mine are under 14,000 besides the one. Both of ours. I have one that's at night. The one that is at Staff of Titania, whatever the T word.
Titania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the funny
What's that
thing,
at?
19,
I know, actually.
19,000. So that's what I had mine at. So here's the funny thing is like you do this even like a year ago, like the decks, there's something up with, they added some more algorithms.
Right. There's something more in the aggregate. Yeah.
So it's pulling in a lot more decks than there should be. So I think like a year ago, we would have been like everything under 10,000 or something like that. But now everything's doubled, and you'll find that out when we get to Stump the Smith Savant, because the card that we are going to talk about has a lot of decks in it. And yeah, you wouldn't have
good.
known
I need a softball this week.
And it's Matt
I
Heinzman.
got crushed last week.
Matt Heinzman is our stumper for this
Oh.
week. Yes. So yeah, you're
Hi, Matt.
buddy. Yeah. So that's our show for today. We got that. We got Stump the Smith Savant and this might be really quick. Legit, this might be a really quick episode. Like, it just depends how much bullshit.
No, I'm gonna complain about a bunch of your equipment, and that'll elongate everything for a while. I want to say that I am drinking tonight.
Whoa.
Basically what happened was
Good for you.
for my birthday,
Aw.
everybody brought beer,
Yep.
and I didn't realize it until my fridge was goddamn full that on the invite it said, "This is a beer party, bring it."
Bring stuff for Lowry.
Didn't know it until somebody's like, it said to bring it. I was like, what? I should have been cracking them, sharing them, yada yada.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of had kids anyway, but I didn't realize that until the end of the night. But this is one of them from a buddy that wasn't able to make it. Shay brought me. It's called More Brewing Company. It's henna, and it's chocolate praline macaroon. It has coconut, cocoa nibs, and pecan imperial stout.
Jeez.
It's 14%.
I was about to say, what's that percentage?
Yeah. It says imperial stout, but I'm fairly sure that it has syrup in it as well. It is thick oil.
That sounds like my kind of drink right there. Especially
I'm sorry, I couldn't share
especially that 14%. I'm just drinking a Techno Viking, and it's a Berliner Weissen Sour. You got to hit the button, man. I'm reading. And it's from
yeah, but I want you to struggle enough that we can hear
it's
it.
Drecker, the Fargo Brewing Company.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's pretty
How'd
good.
you get that?
They have it, a bunch of them here actually, and my
You guys,
liquor store.
we have Drecker down here now?
At least my liquor store does. So I actually had a bunch of varieties. This is the cheapest one that I got. I didn't want to spend $30 for 4 beers, so I was like,
you should talk to Alex about that then.
yeah,
He's a big Bobo, and obviously there's Quinn and Ryan.
yeah. So yeah, I got that starting, and then I got your neck of the woods. You drank it the other day. Was the Waconia Brewing. This will be my second one. The chocolate peanut butter porter. So that's gonna be the one I'm gonna drink next. So
we'll see how that goes.
Well, yeah, I guess this episode's gonna be so quick that I probably won't even get to the second one. I have a bad feeling, but whatever.
Whenever you say that, you are 1 for like 99 in accuracy on
like there isn't
having a fast episode.
I don't see how this is gonna take a long time. Like I think like no offense to Matt.
Do we want to get? Oh, this is gonna.
No offense to Matt. I had to make this one hard for you to get. Like you're gonna. All that sounded really bad. Right. I had to make this hard for you to get. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah.
I only get hard ones.
So I had to make this one difficult. So you'll see. This one's it could be one of those that I made it tough enough that you don't get it for a long time. Or it could be like 2 weeks ago where you got it in like 3 minutes, and that was like.
That's what she said.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Can we make that a button?
That's what she said. So yeah, we're gonna. What do you got? What you were gonna say?
Did we want to talk about personal stuff at all? Like
the
disaster that cards are for me.
Do we want to do
or
that
did
now?
we want to get into the episode and then do it after?
Let's try to keep going with the new format of get right to the topic. But then this time we actually can't forget that we got to do tags and then talk about our lives in the middle of it.
That's right.
That's
right.
So what we're gonna do is we're switching this all up, and we've done this the last couple of weeks because we have people that come in and they're like, they want to hear what we're talking about. They want to know what the topic is. They don't want to listen to our lives. So the true listeners that like to buddies, basically consider you guys buddies. You guys can stick around for the middle part and then Stump the Smith Savant. So the other people, you fuckers that aren't our friends, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to get right to this.
I mean, you have the option to listen to our lives.
Yes.
Yeah. But you don't have to now.
You don't have to. So we're going to get right to this damn episode. So let's get right to it. So
underrated gems, equipment. I don't know why we're starting here, but we are.
Why we're starting.
Am I going first or you? You got this?
I think I'm first this time. I think you went first last week when we did stuff. So why don't we just start off with the highest one that I talked about? I just talked about this one.
All right. I know it's that hard staff.
Yeah, the hard staff of
Staff of tit?
Titania. Titania, whatever.
Oh, it's a made up name. You're fine. Just say it with gumption.
Of T words. So if you don't know what this one is, we like this when this came out. I think this was on our top 10 list.
We did. Hashtag Team Forest Walk.
I guess it kind of works a little bit there.
It absolutely works.
But when you do I have to
get Yavamaya out.
Get the fuck
Everything's a forest.
So this is a 2-drop equipment, and it equips for 3. Where your equipped creature gets X+X, where X is number forest you control. So yes, Lowry's hashtag Team Forest Walk. But the cool thing is when this attacks, you get a 1/1 green forest dryad land creature token. It is affected by summoning sickness, so you won't be able to tap it for land, but it's a creature. It's that dryad. It's the forest dryad. It's the land that's also a creature. And so not only is it pumping the creature that you have, like you don't even need to be playing forest. Like you don't need to be in a green deck. It's going to get 1+1 after that first attack. And then every attack from that point forward, it's getting bumped. And you're also giving yourself mono rocks or monodorks in a way. So, or not in a way, you're giving yourself monodorks. I think this is really
it can go in token decks, attack trigger decks. Like this could be in an Ishin deck. But like, yeah, it's not just about forests.
Right.
Like if you're in a deck that needs ramp, this kind of fits the bill.
Right. And they're chump blockers too. So you have monodorks and all that stuff. Gaia's Liege on a stick. I like that thought.
Hey,
But yeah, so this is only 19,000 EDH rec decks. It's been out for over about a year and like 3-4 months because Brothers War was last winter, in January, February, whatever that was.
Yeah, so this is a little over a year. Yeah.
So 19,000, like, you know, a year ago you'd be like, oh, that's a lot of decks for only a year. But like the thing is they've done something with the algorithms. They're pulling in more. So this is actually on the low end. This is way down the list. If you were to go to EDH Rec, you have to scroll way down there to get down to this guy. And I've never seen anybody play this. So personally, I'm like, I mean, probably other play groups might
It's
have
in
it.
my hashtag Team Force Walk deck.
Yeah, and I don't play that against you, that deck.
Get the fuck out!
So yeah, this is my highest deck count one, and I just need to play it more. You know, I kind of forget about it.
Right.
I haven't made a proxy of it. It's not that expensive. It's only $150, which is crazy because I thought this one would be really expensive. But yeah, it's only $150.
Well, the other funny thing is this style of segment is just like a reminder to, oh, I should play this card more.
Right, exactly.
If I'm not playing it
Right.
already, but it's definitely that happens. Like, oh yeah, fucking love that card.
I think what ends up happening too is like, especially with us when we build the decks, like this is a good card to go in anything really. Like you said, tokens and stuff
Right.
like that. But we get so into the theme of what the deck is doing that unless this fits with what the deck is doing, that's why I don't even consider it, you know, or it doesn't
Right.
even get on my radar. So I think that's my problem. But like you said, seeing it, I'm like, oh, this could go in this deck. This could go in this deck. It could go in this deck. Yeah. So any tokens, I like that idea too, because if you get the token doublers and everything. So, all right.
Right.
So we each have 5. I guess we didn't say that in the beginning. This wasn't.
That's true. This is Fave 5 style.
Right.
There is no real order.
We don't know each other's except for the ones that were on the thumbnails.
Right.
So speaking of, what was your thumbnail one again?
My thumbnail one was Glimmer Lens. 1 in a white to come down and 1 in a white to equip, I believe. Yep. And then when it comes into play, it does create a 2/2 red rebel that is attached to it. And then whenever equipped creature and at least one other creature attacks, draw a card. Again, this card is great for the Ishin, like the double trigger of the double attack trigger of drawing. Mono white is just going to want this all the time because it's just straight up card draw for them. It's cheap.
Yeah.
It creates a creature.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like it does a lot for 2
immediately
mana.
brings you don't have to worry about the equipping it. You're tapping the 2.
Right.
Comes in and it's a creature, you know, the creature and this is attached to it. As long as your next turn you're able to attack with something else, you're drawing off of it. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Again.
So it's been in I like it in Rafine in my deck. This one is in multiple of my decks. So Rafine, even though that's drawing, you're never really getting card advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And so this allows you to kind of get ahead. You see a ton of cards with the conniving and drawing and discarding and stuff like that. But you also, if you're down to 1 card in your hand, you only have 1 card in the hand no matter what. And so being able to get a second one in your hand off of an attack trigger helps you there. But the card's been great. I love it. And it is in only 14,542 decks. And I suggest that it should be way higher. Is this saying that it's only 25 cents on
Yes.
TCG?
Yep.
Fucking go buy this. Go get
And
it.
actually the full art, the Flart one, is only 44 cents. So
Right. Get that.
Check that
This was in the Commander deck. I don't believe it has a foil version of it.
yeah, probably not.
So splurge on that full art. And I think in the
44
long
cents.
run, I think generally for me, these are also specs, not necessarily specs, but ones that have a lot of potential to go up.
Right.
And I think this one has plenty of potential there.
Yep. I dig that. All right. I'm going to work my way down and just go from my highest amount of decks down to the lowest, unless there's no way we're going to have intermingling ones, I don't think. But this next one is...
Well, your first one, Staff, was my number 6.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so...
The next one for me is Endurial Narsil Reforged. Narsil? I don't know. It's Lord of the Rings, but I still don't.
Well, I thought you listened to the tapes. You hear them say stuff, right?
Yeah, but I can't. I don't put two and two together. You pointed that out the other day when what was it? It wasn't Gimli. It was Balin. And I think I said Balin. You're like, dude, Balin's like in the movies and everything.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I was just reading words. I wasn't putting it together. Anyways, so this is a 2-drop equipment. It has Ascend, so if you have 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing, which is super easy to do in Commander. Like, that's one of the easiest things to get in the game. But the thing is let me put this out. It's equip 3, so it has it's a little bit higher of an equip cost, but it's only a 2-drop, so that's nice. But when equipped creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each creature.
That sounded like a tongue twister for a quick bit.
But then if you have the City's Blessing, you put 2 1/1 counters on each creature instead. This is only in 13,000 EDH rec decks. I don't know why I don't have this in Hackball, because it should be in Hackball, because it's getting the 1/1 counters. Now we're doubling the 1/1, or not doubling, putting 2 1/1 counters on everything. It goes awesome in multi-creature, big stomp, not stompy, meat force decks where you have a big wide, go wide deck, because you're getting all those counters put on it. At the very least, you're getting 1 counter, but you're going to have the City's Blessing in those type of decks. So you're pumping everything by 2. It just, I feel like this should be in a lot more decks than 13,000, I don't know.
It's a nice little aggressive card. One question that popped into my head here, because I do like this, and this is something, how much is it? I want to say it's like a $4 card.
Maybe $8, $6.82.
Yeah, that's why I don't own it. I don't own this one yet, because of the price. Like this, I don't have anything that really wants this to be doing this. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I think the reason
at that price
is because it's the it came in the. I have it.
Oh, one of the gift boxes or whatever.
Yeah. What right there? It's actually that one right there that I'm pointing at. So it only came there. So you don't have it in the main deck. You don't have it anywhere else. I guess you could get it in the collector boosters as the Surge Foil. So that is one other spot. But it wasn't a part of the main holiday set. It was in the box.
I would guess that's probably the reason why it's not there. That would be my guess. But tangential question is, how much is the equip cost? How much does that play into you? Like, when does it start going, I don't like it?
3
is it at 3?
3 starts to get me a little bit. That's why I kind of hesitated when I said it. I was like, 3 is a little bit. 2, 1 is perfect. Obviously 0.
Right.
But
Totally agree.
But this being a 2-drop makes it more doable, because I'm like, okay, I drop it down for 2 on turn 2 or whatever, and then the next turn I'm able to equip it, or even if it's mid game, that's 5 total. But let's kind of sidetrack really quick. Helm of the Host, one of my favorite cards. We could never remember the name of it for the longest time. Every time we were talking about it.
I'm glad you said it. I don't remember it still.
But the thing about that card is that it costs so much to come down. I think it's 5, and then it's 5 or 4 to attach, and that's the hard 4.
I think it's 4. Yeah.
So you're talking 9, because that card you almost want to attach at that turn, because you want to get the advantage of getting another token of it. So I end up not playing that card, even though it would go in almost every single deck, because why not have more of your commander? It's just that attach cost kind of gets a little too much for me. So 3, I think, is where I start to go, okay, what does it cost to get out? So that's a good question, actually. Where'd your number be? About 3 as well?
I think it's 3. I think I accept 3, and then 4 I start going, what's going on here? Like, this better be damn good.
Right. And
because even like going with the kind of the pinnacle for me of questionably good, but I still love them, and everybody's going to be like, what do you mean questionably good? But the Swords of X and Y, I love them all. They're 3 to come down, 2 to equip, and half the time, if it's top tier, like Ice and Fire, Feast and Famine, the Proliferate one, the Destroy an Artifact one, like those are really, really good, and generally it kind of has to be on theme a little bit too. Like, what do I need? Do I need some land untapping? But the worst ones can be really good, but they're not good enough still. And that's at 5 mana. Because I look at it a little bit like, is this okay to just play on turn 3 and that's fine? Or this at turn 2, you're going, yeah, this is fine at 2. But then if you both of them work at 5, and so you're going 2 down, 3 to equip, 3 down, 2 to equip. And
but I think I like the
is
swords.
that effect worth it? This effect is definitely worth it for 5.
Right.
But if you have like what's you know, one of the surveil and then cast a free instant or sorcery from your graveyard, the new one from March of the Machines.
Yeah, the
Like that one's maybe okay. Like you have to be really heavy into instants and sorceries. Right? And so it has to be really on theme, and then you also have to be like, okay, is this actually going to be good enough? So I think it's an interesting spot. Like 5 mana might be the deal.
Right. Well, here's a question for you really quick. Just with the swords, would you rather have the 2-drop and equip 3 or the 3-drop and equip 2? So would you rather have the swords way or 3 and 2? I agree.
I'd say the swords way.
Right. Because the thing is creatures get killed all the time with those swords, and being able to equip with the 2 and go, because moving it around all over the place, that's so nice. I'd much rather have the higher cost to come out and lower cost to equip and everything. So
Agreed.
all right. Okay. So that is my second one. What is your next one on the list?
You know what? I didn't. Let's go with my second largest one. I just had something fall. Give me a second.
It wasn't water, was
All
it?
right. What? It wasn't water. It wasn't water. Thank God.
We'll talk about that a little later.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go with Strength Testing Hammer. This is 1 mana to come down, 3 to equip.
Oh, I don't even. Oh,
I believe. There we go.
Wow, you're talking about an Infinity card here.
Yep. I love this one, by the way.
I don't even know what this one does.
Can you? I think you can get it with There's a Saga, but that's a terrible card.
Yeah, you definitely can.
But okay, so
and it's rolling dice. What is going on, Lowry? Are you
right,
okay?
It's wild, isn't it? But whenever equipped creature attacks, roll a 6-sided dice. The creature gets +X+O until end of turn, where X is the result. Then, if it has the greatest power, or is tied for the greatest power, you get to draw a card.
Oh, that is pretty sweet.
So either way, it's a nice big boost of probably 3 or 4. And then if it has the highest power, you draw a card.
Yeah, I dig that. I didn't even know about this card. I like this one. I'm surprised it hasn't.
So this might have just come up.
I was going to say,
did
because
it just go up?
Well, it says 55 cents. But then it's $11 for the Galaxy foil ones, I believe is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's because of Mr. House from
the rolling dice from
because it's
Fallout.
all built on that. Yeah, because I looked at not equipment, but I came across Clown Car again, and that one has spiked because of that card, or because that came out. So yeah, I think this one's pretty sweet actually. Getting a little boost, and it kind of fits in some of your rolling dice stuff.
Right. I mean, I don't care about that, but but it's like that bonus of being able to potentially draw a card, and it's relatively cheap.
And you can get it with Urza's Saga.
Get the fuck out. And so this is in 12,644 decks, which isn't really a whole ton. And I think because it was in the Infinity deck, that's probably what you're looking at there.
Yeah, I dig this one. I like it. Okay, my next one it's the second Lord of the Rings one. This one might hit the
Just anything from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. This is my last one of Lord of the Rings. And this one is we're borderline on this.
This was one that was almost there, yeah.
So Nazgul Battle Mace. This is also in the art whatever piece of that, and it's Which one is that? That one's that second one. So let's see if I can point at it right there. It's that one right there. So this is 5 to come out, and a 3 to equip. The equipped creature has Menace, Death Touch, Annihilator 1, and this is the key part of why. If it didn't have this part, I wouldn't have liked this as much. But whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that onto the battlefield under your control unless that player pays 3 life. So we're talking fetches. Somebody's sacrificing that permanent to, go get a land. You now have a fetch unless they want to pay 3 life. So they're paying 4 to go get a land. I don't think they're going to do that. So as long as it's not a token, any permanent will come back to your side. You have the Annihilator, so it has the built-in part on it. It's giving your creature Death Touch and Menace, so it's evasiveness, killing, all that stuff. There's a lot going on. And so that 5-drop and equip 3 kind of makes this one worth it. You put it out that turn 5 or whatever, wait the next turn, put it on a creature, and now if anybody's doing sacrificing, or if this is in make people sacrifice deck kind of thing, if you're doing aristocrats, but not aristocrats, but if you're doing that
needed
style,
help, so I'm glad that this was made.
Yeah. I like that you have Annihilate. Well, I mean, what was it? That Betrays, where you take
Did you know? I did not know that Lord of the Rings had Eldrazi, but I think that's a pretty cool crossover.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that why is the Annihilator there? Just
because it's a badass mace.
It is.
But I agree. This was probably my 7th
on
my list.
There we go.
So I agree. This is one that I have not played, and it is definitely it's good enough at 8. Right.
There's a lot.
That Betrays is a really, really good card at 11 or 12. Her Grid is a stupid card at 5, way too good.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing. And so this one I think is right there. I think it's doing a really, really good job. I don't know why I haven't played it other than
it is
maybe
another.
I'm not really.
It is a $5 card too. So I mean, I don't know.
I have it as a Surge Foil because it's gorgeous.
Oh,
and I figured,
good. I got it good.
I figured it'd go up.
For you.
I also have it as a Surge Foil.
Yeah. It's right back at you.
Good for you.
So it's a gorgeous card. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are talking about this one.
Yeah. So what you're saying there is I actually have copies from opening this as well, and those are sitting in the spec pile because I think this one will go up over time, especially because it's kind of fixated on Lord of the Rings. I don't think this will get reprinted again unless they tap Lord of the Rings again, which I don't think is going to happen. So, yeah. So, yeah, Renshai is saying because of the Nazgul.
This fucking swing shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I get it.
So that is my 3rd one. What is your 3rd one, Lowry? Your 3rd equipment on the list?
That's a good question. Is it that one? Yes. Okay. Good luck spelling this, but Kusari Gama.
Wait. Oh,
what?
Yeah, really quick, what I want to say. What Renshai is saying there, I think this would make more sense if this was Game of Thrones and this was the White Walkers with the mace. Because hear me out, because when the White Walkers kill people or whatever, they turn them into the whites, so they become the sacrificed are becoming part of their army. That doesn't happen with the. I guess when the Nazgul, if he gets stabbed with the knife, but this is a mace. Anyways, I'm going to end up.
Right. I don't think.
Okay. What was
all right?
it?
I'm going to go with Kusari Gama. Kusari dash.
Okay, I get that there. Oh, dude, I almost put this. I like this one a lot too. Because this was okay. Go ahead. Tell me what the card is, and I'll tell you what your deck is.
3 mana to come down, 3 to equip. You can pay 2 to give the creature +1/+0. This is from Kamigawa Original Champions. Whenever equipped. Sorry.
You can tell we're both.
Like I said, this beer was syrup.
We're both dealing with colds too at the same point.
Thick, yeah. And snot, and it's great. But okay, so whenever equipped creature deals damage to a blocking creature, Kusari Gama deals that much damage to each other creature defending player controls. And so
a tad bit soft.
And so basically what it's saying is if you have a huge type of commander or creature deck and you're worried about them being chumped, you play Kusarigama in your deck, and
Huh.
if they do choose to block, it's going to wipe their deck. So if you're worried, like Ruhan the Fomori, which is a 7/7 for 4, you slap this bad boy on it, you're wiping their board whenever they block. If you're in like a dragon deck, maybe I don't know how good of a question that is. I ran this in my Zangief deck. Zergo Helm Smasher is great for this. But this goes in not every deck, but a
Anzrag
handful of decks.
loves this one.
Which one does?
Anzrag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have it in. It's like it just wipes their entire. They block your. They're forced to block it, and then it wipes out their creatures, and then you get an additional attack step. It's a stupid card. It's awesome. I like this one.
It's an awesome card, right? And so that's there, and this is in 5,482 decks only.
Yeah,
like that seems wild. Like I named off we Anzrag, Zangief, Zergo Helm Smasher, and Ruhan of the Fomori. I think they're all fairly well-known decks.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that this is in only 5,400 of them.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. No, Esteban, I did check my mic. I might have tell me if it sounds good now, maybe. There's one other thing I can check. Oh, it looks good on our other stuff, so maybe I was just with the coffin and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I like this one a lot. Like I said, Anzrag likes this one. That's a good point with Blanca and all that stuff, because any type of decks where you're doing that, or even like basically Voltron decks in a way,
right? Very true.
You're just putting this on your Voltron, you're adding it to the piece, and then they're going to want to block it because they don't want to die from the Voltron, commander damage, and then you just wipe their board, and the next turn you win the game. So,
right.
Yeah, I like it. This was close. It's funny because I said, there's no way we're going to have overlap, and we both have had like cards where it's like, oh
really,
shit,
really
I
close.
almost put this on there. Like this was almost on my 5. Okay. All right. The next, is there anything else you want with this one? And this one's
nope.
It's
I think
only,
we're good.
$370. It's really cheap. It's an old card. They've only printed it once. So yeah, this one, if you don't have it in your arsenal or your toolbox, definitely get out there and get this one. So, okay. My next one is not a Lord of the Rings card. But it is from a special set, and it's really recent. So
that's really recent.
Yeah, but the thing is, oh shit! I didn't realize it's a $17 card. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is it's a nice protection. I have all the decks. Oh, good for me. But I don't even know about this.
Oh, good for you.
Because bad. I wanted to put Mithril Cult on here because it's one of my favorite, new equipments. Surprise protection. This one is just like it's Silver Shroud Costume. So it's a 2-drop equipment. It has flash, so it has that similar thing that we have with the Mithril Coat. But when it enters the battlefield, you attach it to target creature you control, so you don't have to pay the equip cost. And that creature gains Shroud until end of turn. So it's only temporary protection, but it is going to fizzle. It's 2 colorless. It's easy to come out. The equipping is nothing because it's just going right onto a creature. You're protecting something. And then it gives the creature, it can't be blocked. And it has the equip 3 later. But I just think this one, this is going to fit in a lot of my decks because, again, we don't play counter spells. We don't do that. I like playing spells like this that fizzles people's spot removal. And I'm definitely going to play this one quite a bit. And then the can't be blocked is nice. I like that added on there as well.
Where do you think this compares to something like Mithril Coat?
Well, that's what I was saying. The Mithril.
But where do you think it compares there? Would you rather run the Indestructible all the time?
I'd rather have the Mithril over this.
Did you already say this? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Is I would have liked to put Mithril Coat on here, but I didn't put it on here because it's in so many decks.
So many decks.
This one's only in 7,000 at this point, but it only has been out for like a month at the most.
Month and 6 weeks.
Yeah.
At
so
best.
This one will get up there because it's already a $17 card. But if you don't have it in your in your deck, or you don't have this, you're gonna want to get a copy, because I think this one, unless they reprint it at some point here, I think it's just gonna continue to get up, because I mean it has that protection, has the unblockability. I think this one's pretty sweet. So I didn't realize it was $17.
I dig it a lot. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, your number.
My
4,
next one. How many
one.
was that in? That was 7,000.
That was 7,000. Yep.
Mine is going to be Poet's Quill.
Poet's Quill.
And you didn't even know it.
Okay,
all
from
right,
Strixhaven. All right.
1 in a black. Equip for 1 in a black. When it ETBs, you learn which is discard a card and draw a card. The other part doesn't matter. And then equipped creature gets +1/+1 and it has lifelink. One reason why I really like this one is that there aren't a ton of equipment that give just lifelink in general. And the ones that do are quite good. Like, you're basically talking about like Basilisk Caller, which is one of my favorite equipment out there.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Elephant Hammer for 6 mana rather than 4. You're talking about Behemoth Sledge, which is 6 mana instead of 4. Like, it's expensive. Those are the 4 lifelink equipment with Poet's Quill. And Poet's Quill, it's not as good as Basilisk Caller, but if you're looking for an equipment with lifelink, this is probably the next best thing in my opinion when it comes to it's cheap enough. And it's only in 1,720
Oh
decks.
man, yeah, that is super low on the decks.
And so if you're talking about the 2 hammers essentially being 6 mana, come out, equip, they give a little bit of a boost, like 2+2 +3+0, trample. This doesn't give you trample, but there are plenty of black cards that give that like deal non-combat damage and you can still gain life off of. So like something that I was thinking about, I don't know if this actually is in there still, but Indoraptor, where you know you're trying to do 1 damage to everything. And there's plenty of creatures that do that. You're gaining life of all the damage that's being done.
For sure.
And so if you can do that in a black or a red deck, you're doing great. Again, if you have a huge creature, something like Zangief, where you have to attack or are going to attack with it, you're going to gain 7 life on that swing. Like that's a good enough thing where if somebody wants to crack back at you, you're going to be negating a lot of that life. And also in pretty much non-blue decks, like a discard and a draw really cheap for 2 mana is not bad either.
Right.
It's not amazing,
right?
But with everything there, I think it's a really, really good card. Really underplayed at under 2,000 decks.
Yeah, that is super low. Can I? So you were mentioning the lifelink, so it made me think of there was one that's on my list, but it's in 28,000 decks, but I don't see people playing this one a lot, and I do want to mention it really quick because of the lifelink. But have you played with Mask of Grizzlebrand at all?
Oh, I did forget about that one. I have not.
I think that one's pretty sweet too. Because, well, let me pull that up. I got to remember exactly.
Right.
I
forgot about that one for sure.
Yeah, it was the second card I wrote down before I was like, I don't know how many decks I'm gonna try to keep it under, and then I came across, I got everything under 20,000. But it does give the flying lifelink. But then when it dies, you can pay life, and then you draw cards. I thought this one, but this one's 6. You're dealing 3 and 3. So the other one, yours is 2 and 2, which is much nicer, easier. And I think,
to get out. I mean, that's a pretty cool card too in itself. But I agree, it's at least being played a bunch.
Yeah.
The decks where I've wanted to play Mask of Grizzlebrand, the creature either has flying or lifelink, so it feels like it's not doing enough in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Alayla would love the card draw, but it already has flying and lifelink. So that part, like I'm paying 6 mana to draw when it dies.
Right. Yeah.
And that sounds
but
not so good.
The nice thing is you can pay as much life as you want and you draw that many cards, which is pretty nice if you're in a life game deck. So I think that'd be kind of cool. But I like this one because of the 2 and 2, giving you 1+1 lifelink and a little bit of the, draw discard stuff.
And I think if it didn't have the learn, like the discard draw part, I don't think this would be as good of a card, but especially in black, having just a discard outlet for any type of reanimation or 40k decks.
Actually,
Gives
K1,
lifelink.
that was my that's my 6th card. Resurrection Orb was my 6th card. It's in 19,000 EDH rec decks, and that one, when a creature dies, it comes back at the end of play. It goes back into play, unattached, obviously, but it's a really good card. That was one of my cards. Like if you had sniped one of mine, that was my 6th.
That's what
one.
you're gonna pick.
I was gonna go to that.
And
one.
so, and as K1's saying, like it's 6 mana. So everything that we're talking about, the 2 hammers are 6 mana, Mask is 6 mana, Resurrection Orb is 6 mana. Like those are large investments, and you're going like, I almost want to be a life gain deck in there, or needing to have one other of those effects to happen. So like either I need my creature to die, or in both the cases you need your creatures to be dying, or else they're not really good cards for at that 6 mana.
Whoops.
Here, just paying 2 mana to discard a card and draw a card really early game, again, not amazing, but it's not awful if the payoff is
double R.
a little bit of a boost with some lifelink later on as well.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's 2 to,
So-
the Resurrection Orb is 2 to come out, but then the 4 to equip. And it
Yeah.
has the
and
life
that's
link
what
on there too.
we were
Yep.
talking about earlier. Like
Yeah.
if this was 3 to equip, I probably don't have as big of an issue with it.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
But that 4 mana is
That's a lot. Yep.
So,
All right. Okay. So
that's where I'm at.
that's your 4th one. Okay. So then I will go to my last one, and this is my least amount of decks. It's in 3,000 EDH rec decks, and this is an old school one like yours. Yours was Champions of Kamigawa. Mine is as well, but it's Generals Kabuto. This is a 4-drop. So this is 6 we're investing here as well, but it's a 4-drop to come out, and it's equipment equip 2, which is nice. Equip creature can't be the target of spells or abilities, so it has Shroud, and then prevent all damage that would be dealt to equipped creatures. So the protection's nice, but the key part is getting that prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to the equipped creatures. So now, not only can it not be targeted, but now you're swinging in and you don't have to worry about yours dying, or you're blocking, you don't have to worry about yours dying, or well, it's combat damage, so it will get hit by any of the blasphemous act stuff and all that, but it can't be targeted, which is really nice. I bought this to put in decks, and I think it is maybe in one deck, and then we just have had a bunch of other decks, other equipments, I should say, that have come out that I like better. This should be in my Ansrag deck, because Ansrag, I want to survive. The part that's hard is then I think the problem with this one is the Shroud. If it said hexproof, I'd be in so many more decks. But that Shroud making it so that you can't target your own stuff makes it a little bit more difficult. But again, it's only in 3,000 EDH rec decks. This is only $5 card. It's only been printed in Champions of Kamigawa. So this is an old ass card. But I think it's a great card for your arsenal, especially if you're trying to swing in with your commander and protect it at the same point. This is an all-star for that. So
I definitely can agree with that aspect. For some reason, for me, I always get it stuck in my head. I've had this thing for like a decade, and
good for you.
But what I want to play it in is a deck where the commander has vigilance, where I want to be aggressive and also be able to block with it. It's just going to be able to like be a really awesome wall, but also like an aggressive wall. And so I just haven't run into the opportunity where that's going to work for me,
right?
Where the creature already doesn't have that going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm
trying to remember.
It just hasn't fit anywhere for me forever, but it's a really cool card.
I don't remember what deck I even have it in at this point. It's somewhere, because I know I didn't make a proxy. That was before I was making proxies. I have a printed off copy of it, and the real ones in the safe. But I know it's somewhere in one of those decks. It's probably in one that we made before, or I made before we even started doing the cast. So it's at least 6 years old at this point. So, okay, so that was my 5th one. That was my least amount of decks. Your next one is your least amount of decks. This one's only in the hundreds. Hundreds?
Yeah. So how many was General's Kabuto in?
3,000.
3,000. Oh, that's respectable. Mine
you're
is
trying
also
to beat me here, aren't you?
what? No, it's not trying. I am. It's happening. Manriki Gusari. We've talked about this one in the past.
Riki. I don't know
The
if
first time I mentioned it, you're like, what?
Oh yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah. Oh, got a little bit.
So this one's from Saviors, but it's 2 mana to come down, 1 to equip. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has tap, destroy target equipment. It is the equipment to rule them all. Nothing, no equipment beats this one because this destroys all of them.
I'm pretty sure. What? Yeah, here it is. Oh, nope, not that one. Move
That's
it was a
look.
In the common tongue, it says one
spec.
to rule them all.
No, I don't know if this is
Spec.
spec by any means.
No,
This is in 483 decks.
There's probably a reason for it. Just kidding.
So you don't like this at all. This doesn't intrigue you.
No.
It doesn't tickle anything.
No, because I think it is fine because everybody plays Lightning Greaves. Everybody has the boots. This is a good way to destroy that. You know, there is enough of those out there. There's always equipment. I would say it's very precise in that you're tapping to destroy an equipment, but there's enough of that out there that this is actually a viable thing to use. Like you're gonna be able to destroy somebody's Lightning Greaves. Yeah, it's gonna hit it. You know,
you're likely gonna hit. And again, like the 2 mana to come out, 1 to equip is super cheap.
mm-hmm.
And so
I wish it was 1 and 1 so you could get it with Urza Saga. But
okay, yeah, let's just make up cards here. I like the idea of it. Like 1 and 2 isn't huge, but it's something. Like again, if we were gonna drop that, then I'd have to drop the 2 down to 1. Like if it was 1 and 1, equip, tap, destroy target equipment, I would agree with that.
1 and 1, you're saying? Tap 1 and then do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Just 1 to come out, 1 to equip. No power toughness boost.
Oh, gotcha. Just the tap.
Yeah. And so there is enough equipment out there. You're probably, if one thing that we don't really play against is any like Voltron equipment decks, this would wreck that day.
Yeah.
Right. Like every turn you're just tapping, destroying the best thing that came out. But generally you're going to hit like a Swiftfoot Boots or a Lightning Greaves, and open up their protection.
Or Shadow
or
Sphere.
they're not playing it, which is fine as well.
Yeah, no, I think how I would probably assess this one is as you're a play group is the next time you're playing with your play group or whatever, just kind of keep an eye on how many equipment you see average in a game. I think we see enough in our play group that I think this one is definitely a doable card in our group because I can just think of almost every game that there's an equipment out there. You know, I know I've said that I personally don't play with Greaves as much lately and Boots, but I know that almost everybody else's deck has at least both of those in there, if not one of them. You know, one, if not both of them in every single deck. So this is definitely, it seems so specific, and so it seems like it would be bad, and that's probably why it's in so little decks. But if you think about it, there's a lot of good equipment, and everybody's playing equipment out there, and this is just a really good removal. It's super cheap, you know?
Right. I guess the other question that I have is like, how many equipment would you feel like you're going to be able to get rid of to make this worth it? So if you get rid of 1 equipment, is this a good card? Questionable. I mean, if it gets rid of 2, this is a good card.
Yes. Yeah. The hard part for me is, I guess, at that point, would you just go artifact removal instead of this? You know what I'm saying? Because then you have more targets.
Well, what about that boost? What about that power toughness boost, man? A 1/2?
1/2.
Come on.
No, but
So,
I mean,
no,
but
I see what you're saying.
I think with our play group, I think there's enough, and I'm gonna actually the next time we get together, I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that. I'm going to see how many do we see in an average game. I may even look at some of our older videos and be like, how many equipment actually just came out in that game? Because, you know, it's just, you don't pay attention to that. But when you're like thinking back on games, you see lightning greaves almost every freaking time. Like, it's always like, oh, we got to get rid of that lightning greave so we can target their commander. Or we got to do the, you know, so I think it's in every game. I think you're going to remove at least 1 to 2 equipments every game if this is out.
I do think it depends on how much you like running removal as well.
Right.
So like some decks where I'm only running Vandal Blast and hoping to draw it, like I'm not going to be running Menriki Gusari. Like, but the other thought is like if I'm running like a Seedborn Muse or something that untaps my creatures, I'm thinking about this more because I'm able to get more hits in.
Yeah.
If there's enough going on. I don't know how much of like that defense boost, like would I run this in a Doran the Siege Tower or the Arcades deck, like just for that little boost and a little bit of removal there? Probably not. But it's cheap. That's my biggest thing. It's cheap. It's equipment removal, which a lot of people run. It just depends on how much do you think you're going to be able to get with it? Because again, if you're just going to be able to get 1 with it, probably not worth it.
Wouldn't. Yeah.
If you're going to be able to get 2, then sure. And the other problem is knowing if you drop this early, are they going to play their equipment?
Right. That's a good point. Well, you're
and keeping equipment off the field is not a bad thing.
Right.
Either.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're hindering them from playing stuff. So
I thought it was an interesting one at 483 decks.
Yep. I think it's a good discussion. I won't play it, but I can see people playing it. Like I can see our people in our play group playing it because there's equipment out. I mean, it's really the greaves you're always trying to hit. I guess my last point is like greaves and boots are really the problem. You know, whenever you're talking about equipment, you're not normally. I mean, you will get swords and stuff in there, but really, it's always like you need to remove those so we can remove the creature. You know, and
the skull clamp is a fucking problem.
Right, but you know what I'm saying. Most of the time, your Shadow Spear is really good. But
Shadow Spear.
I get that all the time because of hashtag.
Oh, Shadow Spear has lifelink too.
Yeah.
All right, that one's better than Poet's Quill. That one's legitimately
Shadow Spear's
really
in so many of my decks because of Urza Saga. Because I'm like, okay, I can get Shadow Spear, Urza Saga, or Shadow Spear.
But we don't use tutors.
It isn't a tutor. It's a freaking land. It takes 3 turns for it to happen. Son of a bee. It's like I see you cough, then I have to cough.
Yeah. Okay, one last question on this. I know we're basically done. We have our numbers.
Yeah, we stretched this to an hour. I was wrong. We are.
You were wrong. Okay. From what I'm seeing, all of these are basically in our first 4 groups of how you're building a deck when it comes to drawing, ramp, removal, or protection.
Yep.
Is that where you basically should be thinking about your equipment?
Yeah,
because that's where I think.
That's the only what I use the equipment, unless it's fitting in. Get out of here, Renshai. Unless it fits in for a theme of what the deck is doing. Most of my equipment is of one of the 3 categories.
And is that why, like, if we're talking about like Swords of X and Y, the ones that do one of those 4 things, removal, ramp, draw, or
so
protection,
much better. Yeah,
so much better than the others. Like the mill and the token,
just terrible.
It's good in the mill deck, and that's it.
Right.
And is it good in that mill deck? I don't know.
I don't have it in mine.
Right, I don't either. And so I think that's something that you should consider. There are definitely some equipment out there that are like tempting.
Yes.
But like, even if you're talking about like Eldrazi Conscription, to me, that's removal. That has Annihilator too. And when you're talking about your mace, that has Annihilator and stealing. Let's go through it. Like right there. Strength the Testing Hammer has a potential to draw. Poet's Quill is probably the only one on this list that doesn't do those things in a general sense, but I do consider lifelink a
Unduriel.
part.
Unduriel is pumping my creatures. Nazgul removal. Silver Shroud costume is protection. General Kabuto's is protection, and Staff of Titania, whatever. Staff of T-words is ramp. Yep. So all but one of mine.
So Anduril is the potential, and I would say that's in the weird spot of potentially being like a game ender.
It's super funny. I'm looking at, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other ones too that I like, they were 30,000 or less. So like winged boots, protection, mask of Gristlebrand, draw, and lifelink, whatever. I also got Tanuki Transplanter. That is ramp because it's based on your power of your creature and you get that much. Whatever. Conqueror's Flail, kind of like protection. Umezawa's Jit, which is surprisingly only 27,000 EDH rec decks. But that's like a built-in removal and protection on one. And then the Resurrection Orb, which is completely protection. So yeah, all of anything that was on my list, like it fits into that one of those 3 categories that you were saying. Except for the one.
And so, and if we went through like the EDH rec list, I bet you a large majority are within those first 4 categories of how I'm looking at our blueprint. There are definitely some cards out there that are damn good. Because like if we're talking about the Shadow Spear, like to me that's more of a I like it for the trample and lifelink, but I'm playing that thing for
taking away their
removing
their
indestructible
hexproof
and hexproof.
Yep.
And so it's opening up the ability. It's removal for removal, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, because the nice thing about that card too is it doesn't have to be attached to the creature to be able to take advantage of that ability. Yeah.
So, but essentially, all I'm trying to say is, if your equipment is there just to make your creatures bigger, I would avoid that. And I generally there are plenty of cards that do that as well. If it's not a game ender, like a Craterhoof Behemoth or some type of overrun effect, you probably shouldn't be running it.
Mm-hmm.
You should really, really back off on it.
Yep. Good point. Good point.
Again, there are reasons why you have it indexed. I'm not going to go into every detail for whatever reason, but the thought is equipment are utility cards.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep.
And when it comes to what you're doing with the utility card is something within those first 4 aspects of deck building that we talked about: protection, removal, draw, ramp. And so that was just my thought a little bit. And so, and that's where I would put Anduril in that potentially. I'm not going to put Anduril in a deck that has 4 or 5 creatures out. I want tokens. I want 5 to 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to put pressure on the board, and that's what you're doing with it. And Poet's Quill is there for just cheap lifelink. And I guess that does have the discard
There's
draw.
a little bit
part.
of draw. Yeah, you get a little.
Yeah, so I guess that does have that there. I kind of forgot about that for a second. And so I'm going to count it. So 9 out of 10 are within those first 4 aspects of building your deck.
Wouldn't
for
it be,
us personally.
Wouldn't it be 8 out of 10? Because this one, I mean, I guess it's removal in a way.
Yeah, that's removal. What do you mean? It's definitely removal. You don't play this if you don't think you can remove stuff, you don't play this.
Yeah, right. That's exactly. If there's not enough equipment cards out there, people aren't playing enough equipment yet. Definitely don't do this one. So, all right. Well, we went an hour just with the equipment stuff. So now we have to, yay us. We have to talk about stuff and things and do some tags. And I don't even know how we do this in the middle. We can jump over to, let's go to our website.
So I got just a text from our cousin Jesse down in Lincoln. He says that he's all good
with the tornadoes.
But there was a ton of tornadoes down in Nebraska. Hopefully everybody's able to be safe and you're all good down there. Really sucks to hear about all that shit down there. It was a wild weekend, wasn't it, for weather?
Crazy. It was
glad to hear he's good. Hopefully everybody else there is good.
How did you do with your wild water weather while you were building?
We're getting into that. Yeah. Because at the beginning I was going devastation of my decks, and I was like, that's a little overplaying my hand here with this weekend. So I was doing Riku, and I spilt a fucking Nalgene of water on the entire deck.
I don't mean to laugh, but I laughed
You
every
do.
time I watched. If you guys,
You made a short
I
of
made
it.
a short of it so you guys can check it out. It's just so you know, Sarah McLachlan music when he spills the water, and it's fantastic. With that, it's not fantastic. The thing is you had some proxies mixed in there, but you had a lot of the norm, like your regular cards.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because that's how you build the decks. Is you have them in hand and you go through the cards. That's part of the building process of what you do.
Yep.
So what is how did everything shake out? Not very good, I'm guessing, on some of that stuff.
Here's
All
what the proxies look like. These things look fucking. That's my Birds of Paradise. If you can see it,
Oh man,
it's fucking washed out. This thing, it's garbage. I didn't try and do anything with these though.
No, yeah.
I just looked at them and they're fucking garbage.
Yeah. We can
And then
give those
there was
away.
some commons and uncommons. I'd say the only ones that really got fucked was like I got a full art Jessica's Will that looks like it's like $35. That's probably fucked.
Oh, no.
I definitely have some damage to good cards, but they're not like completely fucked. Like I have a foil sort of Forge and Frontier that got a little bit of damage.
Ugh.
I got a spot on my one of the, I think it's Soul Ring of the Wormhole Soul Ring,
Oh,
the one
the
with the Galaxy art.
foil? Ugh.
Yeah, so a little dot on that. My Viren got fucked, but that just got reprinted. So,
Ugh.
but right now they're sitting in a book with a ton of books on top of them, and hoping there's a lot of curvature.
Cindy said the same thing that wrench I just went. Did you try putting your cards in rice?
It's not a cell phone.
And that's a complete myth.
I
too.
thought about it. That was my first thought.
Yeah,
Was
Cindy-
rice?
Cindy's
No,
like-
I need to be able to try and flatten it.
At least you didn't have your duels in there. Like the duels, like I'm glad
For
that
sure.
you don't play with the like those are in a binder, right? You don't have those in a deck,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Right.
It's gonna get
But
angry. I was gonna get
I would,
angry
like,
at you.
I was thinking about it, like the Dr. Madison Lee deck that has some fucking expensive reserve list cards in it, because you don't. I think it's Transmute Artifact. That's like a $400 or $500 card.
But that didn't
there's
get
no
hit,
proxy
right?
for that. What's that?
That didn't get hit, right? That's a different deck. You weren't building that one.
No, I wasn't. That's what I was
Okay.
just saying. Like, 2.5 weeks later, I lucked out.
Yeah. 'cause
It's still damaged like 80 cards.
Ugh.
10 got scot-free somehow. The double sleeve. I had a couple that had the perfect fits on them.
So wait, walk us
so-
through really quick. So you, this is how I saw it. You go, hold on a second, and you mute the mic, and so then about 3 seconds later, again, people listening or whatever watching, you can check out the video. It's on our shorts. All of a sudden, you just see this water come across, and it splooges the whole thing. Your whole board.
It lands right on the pack of cards.
And then your hand comes in, you pull them off, and then shortly after the video just ends. Was there a lot of swearing and stuff happening at that point? Like, I'm just, were
There
you
were-
like trying to like,
There was some fucks.
were you like, I'm going to keep going? Nope, fuck this. I'm ending this video right now.
No,
Like,
no. It was, basically, because we're both a little sick. So I muted it to take a drink, blow my nose. And so I took my drink, set it down, and went to go get my tissue and came back and knocked it over.
Oh, fuck.
And I went, fuck. Fuck. And then basically went away. And then I was like, goodbye. And then
Yeah.
turned it off. But it was all muted. I didn't even know
Yeah, it was all
at that point.
muted. Yeah.
And so that was it was unlucky. I almost always, you know what I mean? My Nalgene,
As a top.
it's closed. I always close it for that reason, because of when I spilt the beer.
Yeah, on the other,
Was it
another
like
short.
basically 2 years ago?
Yeah, that one was.
And so once I did that, I was like, okay, well, I need something with a cap around here. And so I always consciously like closed it. And so I just got really, really unlucky. It was a bummer. So
You and pickle juice and water and just Your cards can't be
Pikachu's.
around you. You're dangerous.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That's
all
true.
right. Well, check out that video. It's pretty. Check out the you building the deck. I'm sure you weren't done at that point. So are you gonna tap back on that one? Is that what you're gonna try to hit up?
Nah. I've gone on Moxfield. Like everything's still like flattening out, drying. Like, so I'm just the deck on Moxfield is close. I'm working on it still, just
Okay.
on Moxfield. And so we'll just, if you want to go check out the deck, Riku of Many Paths, it's over there on Moxfield for the 7th time that I said that. I also plan on doing the new Gonti deck. It just depends on if my Card Kingdom order comes in before Wednesday. And if it does, I'll do it Thursday night. If not, we'll see. Just keep an eye out for it. Just stealing decks and stuff like that.
So if we see a video of you opening Card Kingdom, that means that you're probably going to be able to do the spotlight. Speaking of videos and stuff from last week, we do have a lot of them that went out. So you had Lowry's spotlight. You had Lowry opening up the secret layer. You had 2 of them that you did Ravina Kai and one of the Fallouts. I got my big order on, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday. Open that up. I ended up getting a Monovault. Oh, good for... I'll hit it. Nope, I'm not even on the right... You got to hit it. I can't hit it.
Sorry, what am I wasn't paying attention to you again.
Yeah, so I got...
That one?
No. It was that for you. Yeah. So I ended up getting... I ordered a shit ton of the Fallout because I had a bunch of dollar to duels and specs, and I opened up only one out of, like, I think it was 28 different Fallout ones. So the odds of getting it are very low, and that's why it's going for about $1,000 on eBay at this point. And last time I checked, I'm going back and forth with it. I know, I want to, but the thing is I would want to sell it, but the thing is I don't think it's going to go down in price. I think it's that rare of getting one of those that I think it's only going to go up. So I don't know. So, and then I also did I have a collection. You can kind of see it. It's right behind me, right over there. It's one of my tattoo artists' collection. This is the second time he's dropped off his stuff, and I went through it. The video's not interesting until the second half. Like, the first half is a lot of garbage, and then the second half was his baby, like his decks, his rat decks, his squirrel decks. That's when I started seeing some of the good stuff. I'm actually going to probably do one more video on only the good stuff that came out of it. So that was kind of interesting there. And then I also have a Card Kingdom one that's coming this week, hopefully this week. So I'll do an opening of that as well. And then was there anything else? Oh, proxies tomorrow. So the new proxies, which will be the other 5 Surveil lands, will hit tomorrow, along with my boys. They did 2 more cards that were, one is Anointed Procession, and the other one is, shoot, what is it? Oh, it's Necromancy. That's right. We did Necromancy. So that video will hit tomorrow. Those are videos you guys can check out this week. I'm going to just do our tags really quick. You guys can become a patron. You guys can support the CommanderSmiths. You can support us in 4 different ways. You can support us by becoming a patron. $1 a month gets you in the Discord. You can chat with us there. $5 or more, you start getting proxies. Like the prize that is going to be coming up here, which is, this is one of the Surveil lands there. So that is a proxy, foil proxy.
Pretty.
Yeah. So that is one of our patron perks there. So you can get those each month if you so choose. Another way to support the CommanderSmiths is to donate when we're live here. You see, we have the Malorto meter. We don't know what we're doing yet with the next drink. We're trying to make it so what, that last one was bad. That was bad. That was bad as in, like, so much prep for it, and it just,
There's a lot of stuff.
so we're trying to figure out a better way to do that. But anytime
But you can always donate towards it,
right
to just get to it easier the next time.
Because every $100 we hit, we have to take that drink. It's not a shot now. And as long as it's before Stump the Smith Savant, we will make that drink and do that. Another way to support us is to actually go out the CommanderSmith store here. So CommanderSmiths.com. We have the T-shirts. We have the playmat. You can see there's the playmat there. Sexy Lowry with his heart, hairy chest there. We have the T-shirts. Oh, look at that. We're both wearing our T-shirts at this moment, so you can get both of these T-shirts on the store.
I didn't mean fluffing. But.
We got metal tokens and then also the Yetis. These are actual Yetis that are all on there. So you guys can check out that. That is, you're getting Smith swag, but then also supporting us. And then the last way to support us is just make sure you guys jump on YouTube. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you watch our stuff on there. Like, that helps us more than you know. Even just if you have a choice of watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, if you can watch it on YouTube, that helps us out. So that's all the tag stuff. You can follow us on X. You can follow us on Insta. You can follow us on, what else are we on? Or something else. TikTok. That might not exist very much longer, but we'll see what happens with that.
They got 6 months still.
Yeah. So that's the tags and stuff. You can also shoot us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. I do want to go over our poll from last week. We did talk about the Commander decks. And we had 160 people vote on this, so this is a pretty good tally here. The most popular deck that people wanted to buy was the Quick Draw deck.
I'm
at
kind of surprised.
I am too, actually. I would have thought Most Wanted maybe was going to be the most
same
popular, but that was the least popular at 10% of the votes. Second was Grand Larceny, which we thought was probably the worst out of the decks. And then Desert Bloom was... Did we think Grand Larceny was the worst out of the decks? I don't know.
Yeah, there was no value in there.
And then Desert Bloom was...
I had every single card from the deck other that wasn't new. So...
Yeah. So yeah, that is the poll from last week. Thank you guys for voting there. All right. Now we are done with all that stuff. We are sitting pretty. Let's get to our little Stumpy here. All right, I might as well hit. Let's get to that. You get the one where you don't know the name. So here we go. It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
Last week you didn't not know the name. It just you kind of knew the card, didn't you? If I remember right.
No, I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
I was straight guessing.
That was gone. That wasn't that one. All right. If you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Larry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no will hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can get everything about the card but can't get what the card name is, he will get the initials. If he still has a clue left over, he will get a bonus clue that should help him figure out what the card is. The card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. And what else? Oh, we have Matt Heinzman is our stumper for this week. And we are giving away the foil proxy of, what is it? It is Shadow Backstreet. So this is that art from, what was that? The Pyrexia, whatchamacallit, last year. March from the Sheen basics. So it's a little mix of that. So you'll be seeing those. The next 5 are hitting tomorrow. So I get 10,000. Oh, Lowry, your record is 87-29. So this is now round 29, week 1. Every 3 weeks we add a card. So the first week is proxy, foil proxy, or the first 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, we will add another card to it. Not a proxy, it'll be an actual card. Make sure you guys, if you want to enter, shoot me a direct message if you're part of the Discord, or email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com. I have eliminated the chat. Chat can play along, see if you can get it before Lowry. And here we go. This is a long one here, so bear with me. And I didn't even pre-read this one, so this is going to be on the fly. The so-called barbarians will not respect us for our military might. They will respect us for our honor. What is it? Lou Clyde? Fick Stoddard, leader of the Order of the White Shield.
What?
She can't even
Lucille? I don't know.
It's a made-up name.
Yeah. It's a dude.
Is it? All right.
I don't know if it is or not.
All right. Fixed daughter. Eric's daughter. We know that this is essentially like Ice Age or Time Spiral, or anytime that they've kind of visited that. Leader of the Order of the White Shield. That could be Cold Snap. So we are talking Dominaria. The so-called barbarians will not respect us for our military might. They will respect us for our honor. It's a. I know it's in that realm, right there. What else? So I think Ice Age, Alliances, Fallen Empire. I'm not sure about Fallen Empire, but it's either that or Cold Snap or Time Spiral. That's likely what's going on. I also think that this is probably a creature. So let's go with, is this a permanent card?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
I'm a terrible guesser. Go through all this explanation, what I think, da 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 da. I just don't listen to myself. I think that's my problem. All right, so this is a non-permanent spell, which makes it an instant or sorcery. When they're talking about barbarians, they're likely talking green and red. And also there is respect us for our honor. I'll take the first clue, please.
The art features a dove sword. The art features a dove sword.
All right. Ice Age?
Hello, boobies.
All right. Swords of Plowshare.
God damn it.
Hello, boobies.
Cha-ching!
God damn it. Oh, the thing is I had in the thing, if you were on track, I was gonna say a dove weapon, but then I was like, he's a little bit lost at this point. So yeah, and then Renchai just got it at the same point there. If I said anything with dove, you would have got it right. I mean, at that, I was trying to make it all tricky. Like the text features, I flipped it around to. I was like, life gain and removal instead of removal and life gain. And then you know how many decks this is in? Guess
100,000+.
1.1 million.
Shut up.
That's what I'm saying. The new stats of how they do it, it's 1.1 million decks. It's most seen in Shorikai decks and first printed in Alpha. Although, if you were on track, I was going to say, not when it was first printed, I was going to say it's in 81 different decks, or it's been printed 81 different times.
What? It's been in 81 different printings?
But that adds in like foil and non-foil. So not this, I didn't count them all up. I didn't want to go through 81
That's
of them.
insane amount.
Yeah. So this isn't a lot of things. So what gave it away? The dove sword? I mean, that was the other thing, is I said sword and swords of plowshares in the name. I'm assuming that.
No, I had a feeling that I had a feeling it was white. I felt like they were talking about red green, and White Shield, Order of the White Shield is a white card, but that doesn't always mean
right
that it's going to be a white card. They could be talking about whatever barbarians they're talking about type thing. So it could have been a red green card. But once I asked if it was a permanent card and I was wrong, and I know the card.
Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have this version. It's one of my favorite arts.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And so like Renchai, like he's better at this than me. He has better taste in art than I do. But we're both on the same page here. And so I don't know what you could have done with the art, even though you normally talk about the art. Like,
I don't know. It was almost just gonna like not even like just say there's doves and a woman. That's maybe what I should have done. But you probably still would have got it because it's doves.
Yeah, it would have been pretty tough because this is pretty strong art for me.
Yeah.
So
That's what I figured. I was like,
it was gonna be tough. Sorry, Matt. I got you, bud.
If our main segment was short, I was like, you're gonna get this really damn quick. I mean, it's old school. We are
That's
in
why
that
we're
realm.
predicting a short episode.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a regular episode.
Regular episode. All right, I'm gonna draw the name for next week, and
What do we got?
we got Ted. Ted is our
There we go.
Ted Steiner.
Ted's still here?
Yeah. He's probably
Bring
not
it.
here. He got to work in the morning and everything with the
Oh,
kids and
all right.
stuff. But Ted is our stumper for next week. So congrats, Ted. All right. So I think that's it for this week. So again, we got a lot of stuff going this week. So make sure you guys check out our stuff on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed there, make sure you do, because watch out for the videos that are coming. That should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
And I forgot to thank everybody. Whatever. We're out.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, gang, the best way to support the CommanderSmiths is make sure you slap that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our online store, CommanderSmiths.com, where we have metal tokens, mugs, t-shirts, playmats, and more.